open meeting number 36. Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, Mr. Commissioner.
Morning.
Well, good morning. We have Mr. Tom Frost with us. And Diane, did you catch him? Is he a stray? Is that what happened? You know, did you go outside of your jurisdiction and catch? So I made sure that when I looked in my closet this morning, I put on my Indians tie. You know, and, yesterday I was going to go to the game, and I had all my plans set to be there around 6 o'clock, get a jacket, get there a little earlier, have dinner, and here, when I had all those plans made, the game was already over. Started at noon. Started, it was a 12 noon game, and I thought, are you kidding me? 12 noon game? Well, at least I delayed all of the nervousness that I get, you know, because I'm a basket case listening to any games, you know. When the Cavs are in the playoffs, the Indians are in the playoffs, the Browns, I don't even worry about them anymore. So anyway, 21 in a row, I had to wear my Indians tie and all.
Didn't the Steelers win?
Who are they? You mean that?
Ralph, didn't the Steelers win?
I think.
They played a minor league team last night.
All I can say is, if they're supposed to be Super Bowl contenders and we only won one game and they eked out a 3-point win, either we're a lot better than you think or you're a lot worse than you think, one or the other. How about it, Tom? All right, before we get started, Carol.
Well, I have an announcement for my two commissioners. Francesca, do you want to come up?
Sure.
All right. I have volunteered
Uh-oh.
Anthony and David. I'm so excited about this.
It's exciting.
Anyway, this is what
We're
we
going to be
call,
hypnotized so we can lose weight.
this is the Pink Ribbon Campaign, or the Pink,
The real men wear pink.
Real Men Wear Pink. And I've already volunteered my two commissioners. And I will be volunteering Ralph and Pat probably soon to be a part of this.
Good.
I think that would be just perfect. You'll love it. And I have carnations for my two guys. I could surprise them. I just didn't want to surprise you guys. So this one is for you. So you'll be wearing pink. I'm not good at this, so if I pinch you, just yell.
She stabs me in the heart just a little.
I don't know, Nancy, you better at this than me.
I feel like we're getting married, Carol.
Taking her to prom.
God.
There we go.
He wouldn't want to be married to me. Probably be in my hut for half the time.
Doghouse. In the doghouse, that's for sure.
I don't know, you gotta see if you can fix it. I'm not real good at it.
So Real Men Wear Pink is a new campaign that benefits the American Cancer Society, where we have men throughout Mahoning, Trumbull, and Columbiana counties wear pink for the month of October, and to be advocates for the American Cancer Society and educating the community on awareness and early detection. Certainly, I think we all know someone who has been touched by the disease, and we all have a loved one, a woman in our lives, or even men get diagnosed with breast cancer too. And so this is just a way for us to create awareness and raise money for our research and our programs and services. And Carol has been such a wonderful advocate for us, and thank you guys for smiling and playing along with us.
I have to tell them
My
more.
mother's a breast cancer survivor.
Is she?
Yep.
So I
It's
have
been
to tell
15
them
years.
more about what they're gonna be doing. As I recruit, and the more we recruit, the more money we'll raise. And so Pat and Ralph, you will get your flowers next week.
It'll only cost you $100 a donation.
And here's what's gonna happen. The Austintown trustees have put a challenge out there that they, against our group down here, would see who would raise the most money. Those that win will wear a pink hat. Those that lose will wear a pink tutu. And you will be at the next meeting with the tutu on. Or no, you won't, because we're gonna win.
Wait a second. Who's the one that entered into this thing? You know, I think that you'll wear the tutu.
Yes, Carol.
No. Andy and I wear our tutu.
You don't want to see it.
That was not done by us, that was
No, that was
done
done
by
by the trustees.
trustees
Yeah,
of
they
Austin
stated
Town.
that.
And I was so excited.
We gotta win.
You know, the bad thing about that is they wear them normally, so it won't embarrass
Especially Graham.
And then we're gonna get Jerry, because he's already in pink.
So he
Very
was, I'm gonna
nice.
tell him all morning how
Very
good it
nice.
is.
So we could raise a lot of money.
Absolutely.
But I want to thank you, and this is all of October, so my guys are going to have buckets in front of their stations at every meeting, and then my other two guys that are here will have buckets in front of their stations with them, and then you can just drop your money. So everywhere you go, you will bring this little bucket that I will get for you that I didn't have time to go to the store because you're not alive yet. And I'm going to get pink buckets, and you'll walk around with them and raise money. Isn't that a great idea?
It's a wonderful thing.
I also have pink hoodies,
And
and
she has
here are
pink
pink
hoodies.
ties, so if you want to wear them through October, you're more than welcome. I'll just leave them up here. Come here. Thank you.
So that's my deal for today.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Thank you, Carol.
Honey,
Thank
we'll
you.
talk.
Oh, sounds good.
Thank you very much.
Well-
Okay, I'm done.
I think Janetti got to be included in this, because I think he has a couple tutus at home. Pat's definitely got it.
Throwing the towel in already.
No, I just want somebody else to have as much to lose as me.
Gary too, though. Well, we could get all the electeds and make it a big.
Green doesn't care, he carries a gun, he would wear it. He would wear it and dare anybody to say anything.
But I mean, this is something right now, not only just for October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but cancer's an awful thing that strikes all of our families. So having the awareness so that we can get checked, and soon we will have a wellness program that will help our people be more aware of what they need to do for themselves to stay healthy. So, good luck, my men. Guy?
One thing that the American Cancer Society does that a lot of people don't know about is when my wife was going through her treatments, they had sent her several gas cards, $50, $100. We didn't ask for it, we didn't know anything about it. They found out through the Cleveland Clinic and reached out to her to help defer some of the costs of driving back and forth. And it's important to support organizations like that to help families out during times of need.
And they help with the medications, because cancer medications are very expensive. And for families that can't afford them, there's always a way that you can get your treatment and get this paid for. So anybody that you know that says, I can't take that chemo pill a month because it's $30,000, never give up, because there's always a way you can get the money to help you stay healthy. So don't listen to your insurance companies, always do your research. So that's, I know we have to go in, we have a presentation at the end, but I just had to bring that up. Anyway, thank you. David and Anthony.
Thank you. Carol, you can always count on Carol to be an advocate for, good causes all the time, so, thank you, Carol. Okay, we'll open a meeting with public comments. Anyone has anything to say, we ask you to keep it 3 minutes. Okay, seeing none, move on to approval of previous minutes of the board meeting, number 35, Thursday, September 7th, 2017, approval of bills for payment.
So moved?
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Middy
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficant,
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler.
Yes. Journal entry.
Motion approved journal entry number 1.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Middy
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficant,
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler.
Yes. Agreements. Dog warden, Diane.
Good morning, Commissioners, Nancy. Letter A is, we are beginning a prison program with the Ohio State Penitentiary. where 6 of our dogs every 8 weeks will go there and stay there and be trained by
But
them,
do they do that?
socialized. The dogs?
Yeah. You're shipping 6 dogs to the prison.
This is a highly prized program for the inmates and for our dogs. This helps them out. So
Thought you were locking our dogs up.
there's no cost to the county for this. Just keep going. There's no cost to the county for this, and this is not general.
When we get on that show, that pit bulls and parolees show. Was
Possibly.
that, wasn't that on one of the reality shows?
And I'm sorry, and B is the trainer that she is donating her time for this first round, and possibly continue to do that. She does this at other prisons. There's weekly meetings, she sets the curriculum, and this is an agreement for her for our dog, so
Wow, fantastic.
it's a nice program.
Very good. Thank you, Mom. Be careful if you get a puppy, show Diane that she recommends it. You know, we got a 12-pound puppy that came through the pound and they said, oh, it's boxer mix, it'll be about 30 or 40 pounds. And now that it weighs over 80 pounds, they say, wow, it looks like you got some Great Dane or Mastiff. Oh, but really, it's bigger than my wife.
I did not tell you that.
Yeah, you told me
I
that.
don't think I identified the Great Dane aspect there.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, hazmat, Dennis.
Good morning, Commissioners. On behalf of Chief Zakeley, who couldn't make it, this is a mutual aid agreement with the Youngstown Air Reserve Station for mutual aid. They have a fire department on base that is also a hazmat team, and then this provides mutual aid either on base or off base between jurisdictions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Recycling, Lou, we got the floor.
Morning, Commissioners. Items D and E are our drop-off recycling lease agreements with these respective committees. Items F and G are the last 2 components necessary for the automation of the business recycling program. F is just another satellite dump attachment, allows us to lift it, collect it, empty the material that we're collecting from these businesses. Item G will keep loose material in the containers, so instead of a shade system, we need a hydraulic lid system so the material doesn't blow out while we're driving down the road.
Thanks, Lou. Agreements,
Motion to approve agreements A through G.
Second.
roll call.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Traficant?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes, change order, sanitary.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. The change order is extra work order number 1 and change order number 1 and final. This is for the off-site water lines related to the construction of the new Canfield Water Tower. The extra work was required to lower the bore pit to accommodate the installation of the water line. And the change order and the adjustment of final quantities was related to additional pipe needed to construct the line as opposed to what was on the plans.
Thanks, Brian. Change order,
Motion to approve change orders 3A.
Second.
roll call.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Traficant?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes. Road closings. Pat.
Commissioners, letter A, we're going to close South Duck Creek between West Cal and Western Reserve Road on September 19th and 20th for culvert replacement. In letter B, we were contacted by the Austintown trustees, Jim Davis, to be specific, to close Berkey Road from South Raccoon to Forest Hill and from Western Place to South Raccoon on September 17th. He had asked for a 1-hour closure, but we decided to close it for 4, just in case. This is for a color run for a young person in Austintown that has cancer and can't leave his house, so they're going to run past his house. Austintown Police Department's going to control all the traffic enclosures, but we agreed to allow the road closure on the 2 county roads.
Thank you, Pat. Road closings,
Motion to approve road closings A and B.
Second.
roll call.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Traficant?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes. Resolutions,
Motion to approve resolutions number 1 additions.
Second.
roll call.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Traficant?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes. Resolutions, Commissioners, OMB.
These are 2 funds being created for Mental Health and Recovery Board, and if Dwayne wants to say something on those 2 funds.
As Commissioner, the 21st Century Grant was a grant it's a federal grant that came through our State Department. Mahoning County got $140,000. We donated that to the Mercy Foundation. They doubled it, and they're providing $280,000 to the community to hire recovery coaches. And the second grant is a Strong Families grant. That's over $300,000 that's coming into Mahoning County through Family First, through our support. And it'll provide respite for families that desperately need respite for children and adults with that are DD and special needs. So that's the bulk of the grant.
Good, thank you, Tony. Really appreciate the job you guys are doing, especially the work with YMC. Okay, dog warden.
Good morning again. This is just a part-time replacement for a recently vacated position.
Thanks, Diane. Engineers.
Commissioners, letter D is a resolution approving moral obligations to PSI Incorporated for some asphalt testing. And letter E is a resolution authorizing the president of the board to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement Emergency Repair Program.
Thanks. Human Resources.
This is a resolution to adopt a revised public records policy.
Thanks. Jobs and Family. Robert. Good morning.
Use an agreement with Carroll County for us to accept approximately $5,600 in income maintenance funds that they're not going to use that would, prior to this procedure, to the Mahoning County Commissioners and all the other commissioners, we end up going back to the state. So we have inter-agency exchange of monies, and we don't have to give up anything in this case to get this $5,600. H is for the appointment of a new eligibility specialist pending background check and drug check. And I is a resolution approving the removal of one income maintenance aide who failed to pass her probationary period of 120 days.
Thanks, Bob. Lead-based.
This is
We're hiding back there. I thought you were AWOL.
a moral obligation payment for a change order that exceeded 10% of the original contract.
OMB grants.
I defer to the director, Mr. O'Hara.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is a resolution to accept the 2018 LAPC grant for an amount of $28,211. And that's so we can remain in CERC compliance, and CERC is a state emergency response commission. The second item I, is a resolution appointing the following individuals to sit on the LAPC for 2 years, and that's 2017 through 2019. And once we get it approved locally, then I send it to the state of Ohio for state approval to sit on the LAPC.
Thanks. Sanitary.
Yes, this is a request by the department for the board to approve a moral obligation payment to ServPro. These actions were necessary to address a backflow into a basement in Austintown Township as a result of a failure in the sanitary sewer line.
Thanks, Bill. Motion.
Motion to approve resolutions, letters A through N.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Middy?
Yes.
Commissioner Traficant?
Yes.
Commissioner Bishop?
Yes. All right. Thank you. We call for the good of the order. Anybody have any good in order?
We got to take off, because we have a display on the South Basin or what happened.
Okay.
Thank you.
Before we get on to our presentation, I did want to,
I just want to announce on the 23rd of this month, they're having an electronics drive in Campbell Township at the Campbell Fairgrounds, and also on the 23rd, Goshen Township is having a combined electronics and tire drive at the maintenance building on Secret Road.
Excellent.
Check our website for listings and detailed restrictions.
Excellent. Anna?
Good morning, Commissioners. I just wanted to announce that today from 9 to 1 at the Salvation Army on Glenwood Avenue, the Continuum of Care is putting on a program called Project Connect. And there's various public agencies there, and services will be provided to any individuals that may need heart screening or blood pressure screening, haircuts, various other information to social services. 9 to 1 today.
Thanks, Anna. Anyone else? Yes?
Sorry for being late today, Commissioners. Dennis spoke on my behalf, but I do apologize. I was in a meeting with the boss, and sometimes that happens when you wear two hats.
Well, tell the boss when you get back, you know, after the meeting that he was volunteered to wear a tutu. He's on both Austin Town and the Mahoney County's team. Because he's the county sheriff, so he loses and wins in both directions, so he's definitely gonna win and wear the tutu.
He's on our team, and we're gonna win. We recruited everybody.
Anyone else? I did want to mention, you know, and I'm sure Pat can elaborate, I wanted to, you know, send my condolences to one of Pat's employees, Kenny Zinni, that was a longtime employee of the county engineering department, county engineer's office, and probably one of the best heavy equipment operators that the area had, you know, and he passed last Friday, I believe it was. It was just a big loss for the county, the families and his family and all of his friends. I know that, you know, Kenny always reminded me of like Wally Bell. You know, he had a big personality and just was a neat guy to be around. Always, you know, very positive and not very outgoing. So a big loss for the county and for the families. So send out his condolences to his family. Okay, we got a presentation now we'd like to do, and Anthony, would you like to kind of lead us into this?
Sure. And I'll let Tony introduce, but we have Rodney LaVoy here. Rodney was a former CBS Survivor Series star.
Oh.
And from his fame and his ability and from his past trials and tribulations, Rodney has become a nationwide national speaker and motivator. He empowers families, he empowers children. He has dealt with issues from heroin addiction to mental health concerns, and he's just become nationally known. And we're very blessed to have him here today. And his organization is called Warriors of Purpose. And at this time, I want to thank the commissioners for putting this together. And I'd like, maybe Tony, something you'd like to say on behalf of Rodney?
Last June, I had a charity boxing event. I met Louis Chabot, and Louis a reality star also. And I got to meet Rodney and Marietta in February. Ever since then, we've been trying to hash out the battle with bullying, drugs in this area. And so it's been a 3-month collaboration. And Rodney's, we've been on the phone a lot, and we've been speaking with Anthony on trying to get into the meetings and stuff like that. But I'm going to feature Rodney LaVoy. I think about the airport yesterday in Boston, and this is him right, Rodney LaVoy.
Thank you so much. As they said, my name is Rodney LaVoy Jr. You're going to probably laugh a little bit. From Boston, I got an accent. I parked the car in Harvard Yard. My R is not existent in how I speak and talk. But the one thing that I can relate to probably every single person in this room is just by raising your hand, how many people in this room know somebody either has died from an overdose? It's tough for me to even talk about even when I get through it. How many people has died from an overdose, has witnessed a family member, or has struggled himself with drugs? But you know somebody who's gone, right? Every single person in this room has been through this epidemic, this disease, and a brief little story about me. So I was on CBS Survivor, craziest experience of my entire life, and what it did for me is it absolutely changed my life. It cracked me open. I found my sister dead in my house from a drug overdose, and it's probably one of the worst things you could ever imagine. I get a call from my sister. Rodney, you gotta come home from school. And I'm just thinking, Rachel, you know, sister's coming at you with that drama. Like, oh, you know, you gotta come home for my nephew's game. No, I got a call that I had to drive an hour, all my emotions bottled inside of me. For the first time in my life, I'm feeling some type of way, like, what am I about to walk into? She couldn't even get out what she wanted to say. When I pulled to the scene, ambulances all surround the area, cops everywhere. See my mother on her hands and knees going, no, no. My father, you guys are from Ohio, you guys are blue collar. The mentality kind of is like, if I bang and scrape my knee, I'm like, Dad, my knee hurts as a kid. He goes, oh, Roddy, let me check it out. You bleeding? Stop being a baby, get back up. Blue collar people, you know, tough guys. Always the way you're proud of your shoulder. Never really show no emotion. So, for the first time in my entire life, at 24 years old, my father cried to my shoulder as we're taking my sister out of the house with blood surrounding her face. Okay? Fast forward a year later, I end up on one of the craziest TV shows ever, one of the most popular shows of all time, Survivor, which challenged me physically, mentally, and emotionally like I'd never been challenged in my entire life. I started the show at 196 pounds. I came out 147 pounds with parasites, liver failure, pancreas failure, PTSD, anxiety, and depression. Let's just say I went through the ringer. So I know what it feels like to go through mental health. And that's why I'm a huge advocate for it. I'm an advocate for the people and the ones in recovery, and I'm also an advocate for people who are going through what kids go through every single day. When it comes to bullying, before I just flew out here, my nephew is getting bullied by some kid right now. He got thrown to the ground, kicked into the stomach, punched, called him the F word, the P word, you're a loser, you'll never amount to nothing. And then what I have is when we have everybody that's in this room that can relate to somebody that's gone through this, when we come together and we're a force, we can literally change lives. And it starts with our youth. People think when you see a 25-year-old and you get a heroin needle in their arm, usually people are fast to call them, well, with a junkie, with a loser. Well, guess what? That person that you're talking about is that kid in the classroom, that 14-year-old that got bullied. It's that girl. Who here has seen the movie Forrest Gump? Probably everybody, right, Virginia? Everybody seen Forrest Gump? So I'll tell a story about Jenny. When I grew up, when you're watching it, I'm like, man, I can't stand Jenny. How could she treat Forrest like that? Such a good guy, always there for her. I just want to love my Jenny. You know, just get Rodney. So he's here for Jenny her whole life. And what does she do? She runs away from everything that she ever loved. And that's what parents face every single day. When somebody like her, a father that beat her up and molested her and raped her every single day. A mother that she never had. So what did she know what love was? She didn't know how to love somebody. She didn't know how to act. People aren't as blessed to grow up in a certain environment. So we're now looking at this epidemic with drugs. People used to think it was, you know, the people who were affected in the projects and it was a low-income thing. Well, guess what? This has affected doctors. This has affected the lawyer's son. This has affected the middle class. It's affecting everybody. And that's why I'm on a mission for education, awareness, and prevention to get in these schools and to change up the whole mold. Because when I speak, you have an Italian from Massachusetts with the accent. These kids listen to me. I got the tattoos, I got the Gucci belt, I dress like them. I can relate to them. I'm not a dear officer cop that walks in with a straight-laced haircut, walking in like, don't do drugs, kids. They ain't gonna react to that. They can't relate to you. They can't relate to the pain they're going through. What we're trying to do is it's real, it's raw. We're gonna get into people like my buddy Ajay, who overdosed 3 times. He has 3 kids, there's 3 counties in Delaware. He is a kid in every single county. He's destructed and ruined families all through that entire state. But now he lives to tell his story, that there is life after, beyond your wildest dreams, without drinking a drug. You can find recovery, there is hope. And when you have people like that in your corner that can show these kids that you gotta chase your dreams, that drinking and using drugs, you're just numbing your pain, you're numbing your insecurities. And my number one thing is silence kills. If you stay silent about whether you have bipolar disorder or your anxiety or depression or panic attacks, I ain't gonna lie to you, I had anxiety coming in here. I was on a TV show with over 20 million viewers and I'm in a room full of 20. And I get nervous and I get anxiety and sometimes like, oh, do I wanna do this? But when you find ways and you find people that support you, there's no better feeling in life. It's 8 billion people in this world. You just gotta find your core groups of people that are willing to support you in everything and every endeavor that you have in life. And that's what we wanna teach these kids, is to not be silent. Because the jock out there who's wearing the Letterman jacket, and also maybe that computer geek who dyed his hair green could be best friends one day. Maybe they could be entrepreneurs and start a company together, because you never know if you don't open up your mouth and talk to people and open up and stop being, quote unquote, such a tough guy. That's how kind of I was. I was kind of reserved and didn't really want to, you know, open up and talk to people. I wanted Survivor. I've been to about 20 different states all across this country. I've been all over the place. And what I noticed is that it doesn't matter race, color, age. This has affected everybody, as I could tell by a lot of people who are shaking their head. This is a huge problem. So hopefully the projector screen works. I want to show you a couple of videos of actual people that I took under my wing and show you that this program does work. And if we go into an auditorium and we talk to 1,000 kids and we save 2 of them, which one story actually is I was in Marietta and Warren, Ohio. One kid, after I got done speaking, she ended up messaging me on Instagram, and she goes, Rodney, I just called the cops on my father. He was doing drugs, and you said that drugs were bad, and my father got arrested, and now he's heading to rehab. And I'd like to let you know he's getting out in a week, and thank you so much for coming to my school. I mean, that's, to have a kid do that at such a young age, that's showing maturity, that's showing the love and appreciation that she has for her parents, and it's a wake-up call. Like, our parents, I read into Ohio, 75% of the kids in foster care are because their parents are addicts, and they're not criminals. They're people that are sick, that need to get the right help. So, it's a family disease. I can speak from it, where I never actually been an addict. I'm the one with PTSD, anxiety, mental health. I can see how when I'm going through a panic attack, or when I have anxiety, or I have depression, I see how these people get wrapped up in the disease, because once you take one, there's some people, the chemical imbalance, that one ain't enough. They keep going, and keep going, and now you let down a destruction and a path of a life that you never even chose. You think anybody chose to put a heroin needle around? It just never happened, so hopefully I can pull this up right here and show you guys. This is actually from a school that we just did. And hopefully the audio works. Middle schools, high schools. It's kids that smoking weed at 7th grade now. You're from Boston? Yeah. It's sad. Sorry about this, guys. Well, I have it. My buddy actually, Denny, he came down from an hour. I'd like to introduce you to Denny Wilson. Hello.
Hi, everybody. Commissioner Denny, thank you guys for coming out this morning. Basically, my name is Denny Wilson, and I'm a person in long-term recovery from a substance use disorder. And to you, that basically means that over the last 22 years, I haven't had a drink or a drug or any mind-altering chemicals.
Amen.
But to me, that means I get to be the father to my 7 children that they always wanted or that they deserved, the husband to my wife that she has always dreamed about, and that person out in the community that does everything that he can to help other people and support the community. So I'm glad to be here in Mahoney County. And if I heard right, there was some money coming in for recovery coaching. Did I hear that earlier?
Yes, for the
Okay.
board. We have the 21st Century Grant. We
Love
put it
it.
all into recovery coaching.
Love it. Long story short, the reason that gets me so excited is because back in 2010, recovery coaching wasn't in Ohio. And this kid from the projects of Akron, Ohio, followed the OMOS, or ODATA staff at the time, around and begged them to go look at this treatment model that was working. You know, the individuals in the communities were getting, families were getting the results they wanted. So after I did that and brought it back here, it's like my legacy. So every time I hear that, I just get really super excited. But equally excited when I found out that Warriors of Purpose was coming to back to Ohio again and what they wanted to do. So I'm here strictly in support, and let Rodney and his team and everybody know, and the commissioners here, that there are about 500 advocates that I personally oversee around the state of Ohio, and about 720 recovery coaches and peer supporters that want this event to happen. So we are prepared all the way to support that and whatever needs to happen to not only for this community, but whoever their project is going to benefit. So we stand in 100% with the Warriors of Purpose. I'm glad Rodney's here. I never got to meet him in person. I didn't want to tell him that I was a fan or anything like that. You know, those people from Jersey.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm here today, and I'm excited. I'm super excited. So hopefully we can get the audio going and
hopefully
we can get through this.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about what Warriors of Purpose and what we've done already. Actually, our first tour was in Marietta, Ohio, and Warren, Ohio. And does anybody know who Dr. Bill Bauer is? He's big in Ohio. He works for Ohio State, Marietta College. Well, he's a doctor that put it all together, and he's huge in recovery. He lost his son from a suicide. So he's the one that started us and got us into Ohio, and I immediately fell in love with this place. The love I received from the kids, the love I received from all the schools that wanted to make a change. It's just sometimes they don't have the people that can relate to the kids, and that's like the huge thing. There's a lot of tours where people can come into a school and they can't relate to you, but after, these kids stay in touch with me on Instagram. These kids follow my story and follow me, and they need role models. The number one thing that I talk to a lot of people is these kids around here don't have role models to look up to. And sometimes, as parents, you can't get mad if your kid isn't listening to you. It's just they're kind of like in a rebellion. But like they'll listen to LeBron James. They'll listen to their favorite Big Brother contestant. They'll listen to a survivor. They'll listen to somebody that they look up to, that they see on TV, that takes their time because they have so many followers and they have this huge public influence. You want to talk to me? You want to hear my problems? You want to be my friend? The kid that's in the corner chewing the gum, literally on her arm wrote "kill me" the day before that we presented. That kid was the one that came down and we erased that "kill me" off her hand. It's on the website. We erased that "kill me" off and said, listen, there's no need to kill you. You got 18 people that just came to the school because we care for you. So what we want to do with Warriors of Purpose is create a community atmosphere on our website with all my reality stars. Me being on Survivor, it keeps this movement relevant every year. I'm in touch with people from seasons that aren't even being aired yet. Right when they get aired, they go, hey, Rodney, I'm gonna be on the next season. Perfect. Well, this is what I do. Oh my God, I love it. And every time that when you turn on Survivor, you got 13 million watching, and then you got a new following, a new fan base of 20, 30, 40, 50,000. Where's that coming back to? If you could be on a reality show, that's cool. I don't really care. I'm not even big into reality TV. But if you take your reality platform status and you take it to something like this that can change somebody's life, and that kid looks up to you, and you could be their mentor, there's no better experience, there's no better feeling to give a child that who's lost, to come out there and a show that they watch, that person who's directly on TV right now, slide into their Instagram DM, as they say. See that the lingo, slide into the DM? Does anybody know what slide into the DM means? So you should know. So when you slide into a DM, it's when you're on social media, and somebody just comes in the DM, and if they see a reality star or a celebrity that's verified on Instagram or Twitter, that's a big deal nowadays. For them to come in and just say, hey, listen, I heard your story. What's going on? I have mental health problems too. I have anxiety too. No way. You kidding me? And then they're telling all their friends about it. And then now they're the cool kid in class. They're the cool kid in town. That's what it's all about. We want to change these kids to make it so that silence kills. Don't stay silent. If you have anxiety, if you're getting bullied, if you feel left out, there's got to be somebody that you can reach out to. And then when we speak into these schools, we bring two therapists. We bring doctors, and on the website I have it. We have suicide prevention. Any way, like we're not, authorized to give the treatment, and we don't want to be involved in that aspect. But we do anything and everything we can to get you to the proper treatment if you need it. Treatment centers, there's a million of them. We go through all the right ones if somebody's struggling and needs help. So, pretty much, I just want this shot, and I want this community to get behind me to come here and show you what we're all about. See the transformation of your kids, get all this money raised into your city, into your town, so we can develop more things to do here. I notice a lot of things when I'm done speaking, they say, there's nothing to do. I'm very bored. Well, guess what? Your freshman year of high school, 9th grade, I didn't know it, but that's one of your most important years of getting good grades. And you think it's a time of finding out what style of Jordans you need to wear and what shirt you wear, but your freshman and sophomore and junior year are your 3 most important years. So if you don't like Marietta or Youngstown, you want to get out of here, well then bust your ass right now, get your grades up, get your GPA up, and then chase your dreams, get out of there, and go to a place that you love. And that's another way you can internal motivate. We have so many ways to get internal motivation, external motivation, fitness. I go to the gym 7 days a week, not for me to look good, but so I can feel good. If I don't go to the gym, that's when my anxiety kicks in. It's my time where the headphones are on, the world's off, and that's my happy place. And I love having different programs so kids can find their happy place, find their why in life. That's the back of my shirt reads, this is a Mark Twain quote right here. It says, the two most important days of your life are the day you were born and the day you found out why. If you think that I'd be sitting here in Youngstown, Ohio, at a commissioners meeting, speaking about addiction because of the loss of my sister, then I tell you you're crazy at 14 years old. But I'm standing here right now. I found my purpose. I found my why. And call me selfish, but when I change a life, it makes me feel better about myself. And it's everybody's had that same mentality. I do a lot of reading with Tony Robbins and the big entrepreneurs in the world and all the people who are really successful. There's two best experiences of your life. Is when you spend your valuable money and go away with the people you love and share a memory that you'll never forget. Or simply having something that you give away to an absolute stranger for no reason. It's the two most powerful things in life. I'm telling you, try it out. Just a simple, random kindness gesture will go the longest way. And that comes with the youth and the kids. So that's what we want to teach them. We teach them that kids who may be all tatted up. Some of the people have neck tats and look at me like, oh, he's scary. Well, that's scary, man. Maybe your kid's next mentor and take him to the top in this world. Become the top entrepreneur, the doctor, the lawyer, the internal motivation, maybe become the next pro athlete out there. Who knows? You can be anything. If you put your mind to it, you can be anything. That's what the message we want to preach. So thank you guys so much for your time. The audio wasn't working. We had so many great videos.
Play it from your laptop.
Yeah, we got tentative dates to the Valley Center. We're gonna work on the dates. We're bringing Reality Stars here. We're having a little charity boxing event where the Reality Stars box some of the guys from Youngstown. Johnny Reagan's involved in all this. And we're having a big event at the Valley Center. We're doing March through Youngstown also against Heroin.
Does anybody watch reality TV? Any chance to have a Big Brother? Anybody watch it? She does? Yeah, so you know how big the following is. And these kids love this show. And I literally have a database of over 100 different reality stars. So when they come out here, the main thing about them is creating the buzz, creating the awareness, and bringing small towns like Marietta and Warren at the forefront. So when you have people like that who are going to give back and use their platform, use their celebrity status to give back and help kids who need us, that's what Warrior Purpose is all about. So I want to thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions, let me come down and talk.
Laptop.
All right, I guess we can be quiet.
Be on the screen.
Okay.
I apologize for this. This is like a last minute thing, and Ms. McIntosh didn't hook up to this projector, so I tried to put something together and put things like that.
With this
Now, what did you think about today? It was really helpful, honestly. Like, I feel like you guys talked about some of those words like yeah, and I feel like it would be going on to do something. So I thought it was really good to hear about hard topics like this. Yeah. You guys talked about something like I feel like a lot of other people like scared to talk about, or they like act like it's like not a thing because it's just like too sensitive or something. This was good. It was good. It was helpful. I love you recommend this for yourself. Yeah, because I like the guy with the accent. I like Ronnie.
Everybody likes Mark Wahlberg.
So that's the thing, like the girl said, we talk about odd things and stuff that people didn't, like, whoa, like they're taken back, like you're really talking about. One of my advocates is a 16-year-old who got raped at 14 every single day, where to the point where she wrote a note, she's gonna kill herself, and now she's 2 years in recovery. And seeing somebody who's 16 years old get on the stage and talk to people who are their age, when a kid, I guarantee there, is going through the same exact thing that she's going through, to have somebody like that share her story. I flew out to New York on my own dime because she told me, hey, listen, I have Judge Jeanine Pirro, I'm speaking at one of her conferences. Could you come out? I was like, it's a week, I don't know if I can make it. I go, you know what? I'm coming. I was surprised I ended up showing up. She spoke there, dead in tears. She's like, Rodney, I'll never forget that for the rest of my life. And that was the video I wanted to show you. It was going over what she went through in her life, how she got raped every single day, and now that every single day when she's on social media, they know her story because of Words of Purpose, and they ask her questions. Kids her age are asking her to be their mentor. I mean, how crazy is that? We can take these young people, turn them into entrepreneurs, and have somebody that they can look up to be a part of a nonprofit that is literally changing their lives. So, once again, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. All right, we thank everybody, especially Rodney and the boy, Tony DeMizio. Thank you for coming and all your help and, you know, what you're doing for everyone. You know, it helps the whole community, you know, when you help to eradicate the problems that all the young people and of all walks of life are facing. It helps to eradicate problems, you know, through a whole community. And it starts at the ground level where people are addicted. You know, they need help. They don't need put in jail. So,
Absolutely.
thank you so
I
much.
think it's amazing with the recovery coaching. That's amazing. That's for the people that are going through recovery. Just try to nip it on the butt so they don't have to even start to get into recovery. That's
I
our
mean,
whole
the grants
focus.
through Dwayne and through our sheriff's department and stuff that we've gotten to do those types of things are, you know, you can see that they're coming to the forefront. People are recognizing the help that is needed. You know, and thank you for being here as well.
I'll keep you posted on the date, once we get it. Once we get a date, Anthony, I'll keep you posted on what day it is, and we'll bring you back down, we'll come back down there.
Perfect.
Get all set up.
And if you'd like, Rodney's gonna be meeting with Dwayne, his board members.
Yes, we're meeting right after the
Right
meeting,
after this
yeah.
meeting. So, we appreciate that.
We're gonna try to get charity, like the charity fights I did for the Hope Foundation.
Are you
out
gonna do
there,
it down here?
We're gonna do it at the Cavelli Center, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna-
We're-
that's what we're working on.
between fights, we're gonna have, you know, inspirational speakers, and we'll have a fight.
What a neat idea.
Yeah, and like, he's gonna bring all those reality stars, like the ones that are real popular. I'm gonna get my buddies to beat them up in the rings. Youngsters, we don't
Let's keep you out.
Big gloves, you know, those big giant.
All I can say is when they walked in, I thought they were animal salesmen.
Trying to sell Gina's products.
All right, we thank you so much.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.